Tonight on Localite with John Compton, John sits down with Cynthia Kortge to discuss the past and future of Wonderwork's Children's Museum in the Dalles. Both John and Cynthia were Wonderwork's kids themselves, and now after 30 years, this iconic museum has finally found a permanent home. All that and more tonight on Localite.
So Cynthia Kortge.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. It's great to have you on.
Thank
Appreciate you coming in. You're going to tell us all about Wonderwork's Children's Museum.
I am, yeah. I have got the privilege to explain to you really what we've been doing and where we're at. Wonderworks has an amazing history, almost over 30 years.
Over 30
which
years.
Which is a really long time
and
to be able to be a part of this community. So.
Absolutely. And all that time, never a permanent home.
Never a permanent space. And we are really literally months away from making that dream a reality. So we're
cool.
really excited to be here and kind of share the story and talk about some of our history and where we've been.
Absolutely.
And really where we're going and the hopes for the future.
Yeah. Well, I saw on your website you have this little house and the bricks are being built up the house, and you guys are like at, I don't know, 250 somewhere in there right now?
There, right about 250.
Trying
that's
to get
right.
to about 6?
Yeah, we need about 6, we think, to complete the entire building and all the renovations that need to happen inside and out.
Okay.
Including all of the exhibits and getting those up and running. So that's a really probably a highest number to get the doors open, but we feel really confident that's going to get us where we want to be.
Awesome.
So we're almost halfway there, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Well, we'll get more into the whole fundraising efforts and how that came about and how that's going, which it sounds like it's going along pretty well. So that's great. But let's talk about you for a second.
Okay.
Let's go back
All
to
about me today.
It's about you. Let's go back to when you were going to Wonderworks as a kid.
I did. Yeah, I actually have really great memories of going there and some of the different locations, but just all of the aspects of it. And at the time, of course, being a kid, I didn't realize I was learning and having fun at the same time, which is the genius behind Wonderworks. But I remember going and playing in the space shuttle and taking the typewriter apart and playing. There was a hospital there, so getting to play with all of the medical supplies, and it was just really a lot of fun. It was always a treat to get to go, and so it's been really interesting to come full circle and have a renewed and kind of a more of a buy-in to the Wonderworks museum now. So,
do you have kids yourself?
I do. Yes.
And
so
I have obviously they've got to be involved.
Right. They are. Yes. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. So, and they. Well, they have been part of the PlayStation because that's really all that we've been able to have available for, probably the last 6 or so years has really been just the PlayStation, and kind of really had to scale back the entire museum.
So are some of the exhibits or PlayStations in storage or something right now? Because it's sort of a condensed version.
Exactly. The PlayStation is
Wonderworks.
released for kids probably to about 5 years. After that, it's just not holding their interest as much. But my kids got to attend there when they were younger, certainly. So now we're really excited to be able to get a lot of those exhibits that we had in the past. They're all in storage. Many of them we'll get to reuse and of course bring in a lot more new ones as well. But it's a fun thing to be able to pass on to my kids, and I'm excited to share that with them.
Get to experience it again.
Right, because I have such fond memories of getting to go, and my brother and I would go together, and I just remember it was just a really fun treat to be able to have that afternoon at Wonderwork. So
who started it?
Well, it was started, Carolyn Thomas. There was actually quite a few ladies that really saw this need, and you think about it, it was about 1977. And at that time, it was very revolutionary to think of having a children's museum, especially in this little corner of the world. But
and
it's
all volunteer
based.
And
an idea that it was really before. Now we really look at the importance of learning from 0 to 3, from preschool and then into grade school and on. And the focus has really shifted to those early years. But in 1977, that wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, emphasis was not necessarily on
and
that.
So that was something that was really, I look back at it now and think, wow, that was so revolutionary. And there was many different women, and I'm certainly going to leave somebody out, so I'll not mention everyone, but Carolyn Thomas was really influential. Gretchen Kimsey was a big part of the original board. Janet Saver. There was quite a few ladies that really saw the need for that, not only for their kids to be able to learn, but also as a gathering place for parents. Because Wonderworks has been able to support both parents and kids.
Yeah.
And so they got together and thought, wouldn't this be something really incredible to bring to this community? And they started in the Carnegie Library, and very small, and just, I think they had maybe 5 exhibits.
Do you know what they
Something
were?
about the senses. There was things about, the 5 senses, and I can't remember some of the other ones. And their idea was, they had this motto of, if I hear, I forget, but if I do, I will remember. So it's the idea of really bringing those tactical opportunities for kids to be able to say, oh yeah, I can hear that, and I can see you maybe showing me how that the typewriter works. But if I actually get to take it apart and be hands-on with that, they're going to have a much more
they'll retain
be able to retain that
yeah.
information a lot
Instills that hands-on and the importance of hands-on.
And certainly kids, everyone learns differently.
Right.
But it's that idea that they were able to really concentrate on those efforts.
So in the beginning then, the part of the mission was to be able to allow kids to, and in some ways, almost assemble and disassemble things and see the working inner parts. And
yeah, it was very hands-on, and that was what made it very revolutionary as well, and not just a typical museum where you go and you maybe look at the artwork that's behind the barricade, or the displays that are not something you can be interactive with. And we all think of OMSI as something that's similar to that. The Portland Children's Museum has since really grown and become quite large as well. But I'm not even actually sure if they were established in 1977 like Wonderworks was. So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, being able to have really that hands-on idea of learning and understanding the world in which we live in.
Absolutely. Well, we'll continue talking about it after the break and find out some of the things that are going on now and what the future holds for Wonderworks. So we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Next.
We did bring a traveling exhibit in this year, and we partnered with OMSI and the Public Health Department and the school district, District 21, and we brought in a traveling exhibit called Everybody Eats.